Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Ayane from Ninja Gaiden 3. Now this one's a little bit interesting just because it's specifically the Ninja Gaiden 3 Ayane. It's the first posable Ayane we've had from Amazing Yamaguchi, but it's just interesting that we're getting more Ninja Gaiden figures. There's going to be a Kasumi soon. There'll be an actual Razor's Edge Ryu, which comes with different accessories, including a scythe, which again makes the original release from Ninja Gaiden 2 a little bit awkward, but that was a great figure anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And they will also be doing Ninja Gaiden 4 ones for Yakumo, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden 4 yet, and Ryu, and they'll also be doing Momiji from Ninja Gaiden 3 as well. I would have preferred an earlier design of Momiji just because I like her earlier look, and it would have made for a more unique figure, but just getting a Momiji figure is pretty cool anyway. So we're going to be looking at Ayane, so the second release in the Ninja Gaiden Amazing Yamaguchi line, and the first from Razor's Edge. So first up, taken out of the box, here is what Ayane comes with, and it's a pretty good loadout, not as crazy as Ryu's, but it doesn't really need to be because Ryu had so many more things that he could have had and did have. But the Ayane, you're much more restricted. She didn't have, 5 different weapons to swap between and things like that. She was much more confined sort of character in terms of moveset, and she wasn't in the whole thing. Mainly the multiplayer modes and things were where you got a chance to play a lot of these characters, even if they did play minor roles in the story. But we get the figure itself, we get several different hands, we get some kunai, we get some blades, we get some hilts to put into the sheaths, we get an extra long stand, we get an replacement sort of peg for any of the joints, as well as an adapter for the stand, and a tool to move the eyes, because this is one of those Amazing Yamaguchi figures that let you rotate the eyes instead of having swappable faces. So a pretty good loadout, all things considered. It does also come with the pre-order bonus, which is a kunai with a message wrapped around it, which she would throw around from time to time. I think it was mainly in Ninja Gaiden 2, I could be wrong, but it was a cool little accessory, and for whatever reason I decided to pre-order it with the bonus. I didn't feel that necessary for the Kasumi or the Ryu from Razor's Edge. I can't remember what their accessories are right now, but I remember them not being super vital and their base sets being more than enough. But taken out of the box and put on a display here is Ayane, and she looks quite good. She does suffer from the Amazing Yamaguchi syndrome. Some of the figures don't, some of them do, where very, very static poses, very basic, generic looking forward, arms at the side poses do not look nice, and that's because of the sort of stylistic choice that the Yamaguchi figures go for. It's much more exaggerated, so the joint system and musculature just sometimes do not work in static poses, but in dynamic things, it's incredible. So whether that comes down to really visible joints, just awkward silhouettes and things, it's just a standard thing with the line. You should know what you're getting into with Yamaguchi. You're going in for the posing and the accessories rather than the actual defined look of a static figure. But all of the paintwork is really, really nice. Can't see any problems here. Everything looks good. The face in particular captures that sort of weird, semi-realistic look that Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden go for. I'm glad that Ryu pretty much always wears this mask because he looks like the most generic person ever when he takes it off. But they've captured Ayane's likeness pretty nicely here. It is a little bit of a shame that we don't get swappable faces, but this sort of neutral basic expression is enough, especially if you can hide it with the scarf, so you can sort of fake alternative expressions and emotion, which is kind of cool. Here she is next to the Ninja Gaiden 2 Amazing Yamaguchi Ryu Hayabusa, and they look quite good together. And again, that Ryu just looks fantastic. Now for posability, which is where Yamaguchi shines. So she's got a ball joint in the head and neck, allows for some really good range of motion. You need to be careful with the scarf sometimes because it can be a bit gappy. The hair can move a little bit at the back. Not super necessary, but a nice little touch. The scarf can rotate all the way around and hinge, as well as rotate on that hinge. The arms can move out that far. They can butterfly in, as well as rotate all the way around. And swivel at the elbow as well. You can bend at the elbow, not a super deep bend, but fine, and there is a hinge at the wrist. There's a ball joint in the upper chest, which allows for a really free range of motion. She can crunch forward that far and back that far. Her accessories can rotate around as well, so they can get out of the way if need be. She can do the splits that far, kick forward and back that far. There's an upper thigh swivel. Incredible knee bend. I really like how this one works. There's also a rotation at the shin, and a pivot and hinge at the ankle, as well as a hinge at the toe. So fairly standard, posability for an Amazing Yamaguchi figure. Pretty good range of motion, a little bit limited in the arms, but it's perfectly fine. The small frame allows her to get into some really nice deep dynamic poses without much issue. Every joint felt the right amount of tight on this, just because there have been a few issues lately with Amazing Yamaguchi figures of either being too loose or too tight, like in particular the Chun-Li that was released recently, where you can barely even move the thighs, and some of them are just completely like frozen solid unless you heat it up in water with a hairdryer, all sorts of things, just to get it moving, which is terrible QC, especially for a figure that was delayed as heavily as it was. But I'm happy that the Ayane has no such issues at all, so that's very good. Again, she comes with that one face, and the expression is decent. It's a pretty generic sort of all-rounder expression, so it serves it fairly well. And again, this is the Yamaguchi line that allows you to move the eyes. Not every Yamaguchi figure lets you do this, but some of them do, especially the sort of realistic-ish looking characters like the Ninja Gaiden line, because you could do it with Ryu as well. And with her accessories and posability, you can get Ayane into some really nice poses. I think she does her best with like deep crouches, and like the lower to the ground she is, the better. It sort of hides the sort of awkward proportions a bit more. And I think they absolutely nailed this figure. I'm very happy with it. She pairs fantastically with Ryu, and just the detail and color work is so nice. And I was able to get her into pretty much any pose that I could think of, and I was very happy with it. I forgot to use her standard kunai in any poses, but I did at least use the pre-order bonus, and it's not super necessary in retrospect, but it's a nice little accessory to have nonetheless. But the standard release is perfectly fine. You get more than enough in it, and I think they really did a good job. One of the only things that I could think of accessory-wise that would have been nice is if she had standard fists, because the fists she comes out of the box with are actually her sword-holding hands, and you don't get like ones without a hole in it, and the hole in these hands is really noticeable as just like a straight-up square/rectangle. So it looks a little bit weird if you're just using it as a fist. If you're using the weapon, it's perfectly fine. Just a little thing that I noticed that seemed just a touch weird. But otherwise, absolutely fantastic figure. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the Kasumi. Looking forward to the Razor's Edge Ryu. Looking forward to what they do with Ninja Gaiden 4. I should probably play Ninja Gaiden 4. And I'm keen to see where they go further with this line, because it is really good so far. Any minor nitpicks I have with it are just that they're minor. The core set of this line so far, even though we've only had 2 figures, seems really solid. And from what we've seen beyond, I think that they'll do really good. And Yamaguchi Revoltech in general have been doing fantastic lately for figures, and even with QC problems, I still really enjoy them. Like, their QC problems feel minor in the grand scheme of things, and none of them are like unfixable, which is really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know. It really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate all of you guys.